CNN has revealed another cache of text messages that were sent to Mark Meadows in this case by a number of high-profile Republicans. In this case, Senator Mike Lee as well as Representative Chip Roy. And it has to do with the effort to overturn the results of the election. Now, spoiler alert, in the end, neither of those two individuals, and I had not expected this, neither participated in the attempt to decertify the election. But they certainly were involved in the plotting up until near the end. So there's a couple different areas that these texts get into, and I think one of the spiciest ones is in revealing the private communications of those who were claiming publicly that this is proved. The election was stolen, there was massive voter fraud, you heard it every single day. Well, when they were talking to each other, it is amazing how clear they were about how little evidence there actually was. Chip Roy texted Mark Meadows on November 5th. This is just days after the election, saying GOP lawmakers had, quote, no tools, data, or information to go out and fight the election fraud. 2 days later, he said, dude, we need ammo. We need fraud examples. We need it this weekend. Dude, find something, bro. You're leaving us with nothing. Just a couple weeks later, he said, hey, brother, we need substance or people are gonna break. 6 days later, where do we stand, brother? Is he Hulk Hogan? Calm down with the brothers. Anyway, do we have anything to put out that can make the case? Weeks are going by and they're like, we still got literally nothing, bro. Come on, give me something, brother. And I just think, like Francesca, I'll start with you. Every conservative thought this is a lock, night of the election, let alone every day after. And meanwhile, Mark Meadows is like, I got nothing as the weeks go by.
Yeah, but this is like, we were all waiting on this. I was waiting, I was like, all right, well, someone's gonna find something in their dumpster somewhere. We're gonna see a lot, like a bunch of people, like someone is gonna manufacture fake ballots. And even if they're written with crayon and like a raccoon did it, like they'll just like, they'll find a way. And what's ironic about the lack of evidence of any kind of voter fraud or any kind of conspiracy is that the GOP didn't need one in the end. The January 6th was still a riot and an insurrection, even without the evidence. It turns out that none of their base, none of the audience Fox News cultivates, they actually didn't need the evidence to storm the effing Capitol and to think that the entire election was stolen. But again, just like, Roy here, which by the way, once again, all these insurrectionist abettors and aiders are currently in the Senate and in Congress.
Yeah.
And these are just two more names for the smorgasbord of collusion that was happening before January 6th. But anyway, it's funny because even I was like, well, they're gonna find something. They're gonna manufacture, like something's gonna happen. Weren't you guys just like waiting for some dumb Hunter Biden laptop level? Even Trump was like, all I need is, what was it? 1,725, however many votes he needed in Georgia.
In Georgia, yeah.
Well, and speaking of Georgia too, that is the one place where they did try to manufacture that. When they had on video, the woman had taken the box and put it onto the table. And they said, aha, they had put them away the day before. And then they showed up to work. I'm like, all right, let's count. And they made it seem like she had somehow created this box at home and brought it in there. That is literally the hardest evidence they have been able to show us of this so-called voter fraud that we know doesn't exist. But here's the real problem that Donald Trump has, assuming Merrick Garland ever decides to do his job. Legally speaking, if Donald Trump were to be hit with criminal charges with regard to any kind of, coup attempt to overthrow the election results, his entire defense would hinge upon him being able to claim, I genuinely, legitimately thought the election had been stolen. That would actually, in the eyes of the law, make most of this okay. Now, I know that's a weird thing to digest, but the way the law would work, if he legitimately thought he was doing the right thing in this particular instance, it'd be very difficult to pin it on him. These text messages where you have those people closest to him saying, we have nothing. There's nothing I can give you right now.
Yeah.
That is going to blow such a massive hole in a Donald Trump defense. But again, all of that hinges on whether or not Merrick Garland's gonna do anything about it, or just continue to sit there and act like, this all work itself out, I'm not gonna get involved. I mean, such a useless lump of an attorney general, it's infuriating.
Yeah, I think he is a Democrat. I have a feeling how he's gonna come out on this, and it's gonna be looking forward, not back. Sorry, real quick, Francesca.
Real quick, I just didn't want to conflate, and I think we do need to separate out, because there is what happened on January 6th and the people who supported that actual physical violence. But then there's the sort of parliamentary coup, there's the fabrication, there's the alternate slate of electors, there's what Ted Cruz did, and here are two other senators who previously I didn't know were as intimately involved in this, and this is separate. So you're absolutely right, Farron, that Merrick Garland needs to be not only going after that, but going after these instances of straight up texting the chief of staff saying, where is the fake evidence? Pretty much anything we need to go on to overturn this election. These are two sitting senators, guys. Article 14 of the Constitution, Section 3, no sitting person in office should aid or abet insurrectionists. We had a civil war over this, people, and we forget.
Yeah, just quick, one is actually in the House of Representatives, but again, sitting elected official.
Yes.
Yeah, and look, there's a lot of texts here. We're only gonna go through a couple more, but where are they? Where are these guys? Because by the way, as we get closer to January 6th, they're saying things like, I'm gonna jump ahead, apologies to the director, but Mike Lee says, I don't think the president is grasping the distinction between what we can do and what he would like us to do. Nor do I think he's grasping the distinction between what certain members are saying that sound like they could help him, but what would really hurt him. He's got a very real opportunity for a win in 2024. That opportunity could be harmed in multiple ways, this effort. He says he's not going to help drive a stake in the heart of the federal republic by overturning the Electoral College. These guys signed on super early. They sent this letter to Mark Meadows, then chief of staff, saying, we are behind any effort. Give us ammunition, give us stuff so we can do this. Months go by and they're like, you've given us nothing. Like, we're not gonna overturn the election based on nothing. So they know what the goal was. They know there was no evidence. One's a senator, one's in the House. Where the hell are they? They know exactly what Trump was trying to do. And by the way, already, as Farron rightly points out, this is gonna aid if there ever is a legal challenge. I mean, this is the former chief of staff who was implicated in these. But they know exactly what was done, and they have been so quiet ever since then as Trump gets ready to try it again the next time. Any final last thoughts? We're running low on time, but I want to give you a chance.
I love the fact that they totally, it's such a fun story to go through the text messages, right? Like, oh, we're totally gonna do this, brother. And then like, bro, where's the evidence, bro? Bro, we got nothing, bro. And it's such a sad story for these individuals. You could just watch, as their heart slowly breaks over the span of a month and a half.
Yeah.
And that's what needs to be exposed as well. And I really genuinely wish, and I've been saying this since November, that the DOJ would appoint a special prosecutor to take this over. The committee has done decent work, but they cannot do all the things legally that they need to be doing to go after each one of these individuals. A special prosecutor could do that without having to wait for Merrick Garland to go enforce the contempt charge against Mark Meadows, which is still sitting there since December 12th or 13th, I think. No movement on that. A special prosecutor wouldn't have to wait, they could do it themselves. And that's the only way we're gonna really get to the bottom of any of this.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.